Hey, good morning, world. It's your boy with another episode of 50-50. Welcome to the show. And, of course, we have the lovely.
Hey, it's Mac.
All right, guys. Today, we will be talking about work wives and work husbands. How far does it really go, and when does it start, and when does it end? We're talking about at work or at home. All right, so is it okay to have a work wife and a work husband?
Yeah, it is definitely okay because you spend a lot of your time there. Yes.
Right, I feel you on that. The reason being because a job can be stressful at any time, and sometimes you need that extra support from somebody that's there with you. That understands what you're going through. You might be having a bad day. Boss might have came and said something to you, and then you might have said something back to the boss. You never know. And then that, like I said, that person gives you that support. Or it could be, like I said, it could be your girl, or it could be your brother. Vice versa. But we're talking about work wives and work husbands right now. We're not talking about your work buddies. We all have that one person that we like to see that's there at work, and when they're off, we're not having a good day. We're kind of sad. The days feel like they're a little bit longer, and it's just never ending. But but let's just get to it. Do you think it could be a motive of having a work wife or a work husband? I know how men think. It could be something innocent, but a lot of times a man is looking for, it could be an opening there. If that's what I want. It could be an opening there if that's what I want. But how do you feel about it?
Yeah, there could be an opening. There's lines you gotta draw. I mean, I'm all for having someone that you lean on and you talk to, and you always talking about, hey, baby mama, or work wife, or work dad, or something.
So, okay, we're getting to a point. Like, I had a work wife, but she works with me. At my end of my career and her career, we worked together. Basically, we were around the same people. And I did have this girl was the funniest thing. She would come in.
She was.
Right, and you knew that it was just. Me, her, and my wife and her husband knew it was just all fun and play. Probably a few of the new people around the building, around the area, they probably looking at us like, "What are y'all? What are y'all doing?"
Does Mac know about this?
You're right. Does Mac?
You're getting run over with a Mac truck.
Right. Because she would come in, and we would be having lunch. She's like, "Hey, I did not get my check this month for the kids."
Yes.
And before I left, I wrote her. I sat there at my desk. That's what I was doing all day, and made a fake blank check. It was the funniest thing, and I said, "Baby mama support."
Yes.
And she said before she left, because I left before her, that it was still
back there.
It was still back there. She had posted it on her wall.
It up, and it was funny. It's just what you do. It's just
right.
a little camaraderie and making people laugh.
It was all
and
about
making
laughing.
You feel good. Men need their ego stroked all the time. So
yes, and I knew of one work husband that you had that everybody thought you guys were married.
Right. Yeah. That was because we both had the same last name.
They
and
had
it was
the same
spelled
last
the last. And I'm like, that's a piece of leather, well put together. And I always said that was my husband. So,
yeah, she used to. Yeah, she used to. But luckily, I knew both.
But
of them.
which one though? Oh, I know it.
Right.
I had a few in my head. But okay, go ahead.
Those are the ones I didn't know, and of course, they would not make themselves known at the time. It's a good reason. All right, so do you have lunch with your work husband and wife? Would you do that?
At work?
At work. Do you have lunch with them? Do you think a lot of women have lunch with their work
I know
husband?
some people do, but we usually try to coordinate hours all the
I mean,
time.
okay, we're not talking about me and you.
And
Right, we know. Right.
I don't really think that's acceptable. I mean, if you're going beyond and over to do that coordination, then there's an issue to me. But if it's
To have
just
lunch
so
with
happy,
to have lunch with the other person.
yeah.
Right.
It's like being secretive.
Well, you at work, so people will see you anyway. So, I mean, will a rumor start? Probably. I would say so. If people don't know the type of relationship you and your spouse have, I mean, but it is a little thin line. I mean, that's another thing. Do you take lunch? Will you buy lunch for that person, or do you take them lunch certain days? Isn't that going over?
Okay.
And if you did,
poking the bear, huh? Poking the bear, yeah.
We're not even.
You could cook lunch sometimes for someone and say, "Hey, I'm gonna bring in an extra something for you because I'm making this and that."
Before you leave the house, if your spouse is there, do you let them know that that's what that is for, or do you come home and say, "Hey, I treated so and so to lunch today"? Do you? Is that something that you come home and tell your significant other? Or is that just something that just kind of slides by because this is a work type thing?
Sometimes it could be it could slide by.
It slides by a lot. Let's just be honest. It slides by a lot. It happens a lot. We're there in the work area. We seeing a lot of things, and I'm not gonna lie, it happens a lot because we know the spouses, if they heard anything of the sort that used to go on in that building, and in other buildings and workplaces that we hear other things from, that is not acceptable to certain people. Certain people it could be, because like I said, we might know the stress of the job. We might know they might need that lifting up.
Extra ego stroke. You're spending 40 hours of the week in a building where you have attractive and unattractive people, and it may, be like, oh, hey, baby mama, hey, baby daddy, or hey, work husband, what you doing, and you show a little bit of attention, make that person feel good. They're married.
Well, let me ask you this.
You're married.
Well, do you accept the gift? Do you accept a gift from your work other?
It'll be rude to turn it down.
Okay, but do you take it home?
Sometimes you give it away.
In this house, it would have been very, very. It would have been,
and other people's houses too. We're not talking about ourselves, but you have to be careful on that line.
That's a big lie. I mean, like I said, some people might accept it. You might go home and say, "Oh, it was my birthday. They bought me a dozen of roses." Don't bring the flowers up in here. Don't bring them in here. I'm not telling you to throw it away in front of their face, but you better make sure they find the garbage cans or just stay there at that job.
Or on the I-75 before you get home. Okay. So
you
kind of being secretive. You're kind of being secretive. And sometimes you have to be very careful on how you lead people.
Because like I said from the beginning, sometimes it could be motives. It might not be, but it could be motives of that person working on that person's ego, like you say. If a person is stroking another person's ego, come on. And then, like I said, you at work, you're not there. Luckily, we work together, so it wasn't that much of an issue. But we've seen a lot of things.
And we were very professional,
right?
Very. But there's some other people that you can't be. But
like I said, if you have a work husband or a work wife, do you start talking about issues going on in your house?
Yeah.
See.
Yeah. You talking about?
I don't think that's acceptable. I don't think that's acceptable to keep it at the job. You talking about something that happened that day at work, you didn't get some paperwork done. I mean, if you even have to ask them for help in doing something, ask them, get it. But you don't need to talk about anything outside of that door if I'm not in that building. That's how I feel about it.
True, but then you have to be careful on who you pick as your work husband and your work wife, or your ace boon coon. Listen, there's some people that have their sandwiches are short of a picnic basket, and you know that this person is probably going to cause trouble for
Well,
you
that's another
if
thing.
you
How do you
go
feel,
over that line.
right? If you are being, like I said, you make the other person feel good. They might take it as, there could be something there, or vice versa. But sometimes, listen, men are very simple. We're simpletons, so we might not think nothing of and women are very emotional, and sometimes your feelings get caught up in things.
Yeah, I know.
If a man keep doing things for you, you start taking it and, oh my God, he really cares. He really cares.
Yeah, women will cheat, and we want a relationship if we do cheat. But men, they just want to hit it and quit it.
Well, like I said, we're simpletons, so sometimes we're not doing it to do that. Sometimes we do need that support.
That's why you got to be careful who you choose,
right.
And you have to be respectful, and you have to know the other person who you're dealing with, and don't cause any waves.
I feel like I said, is it okay to have that work wife or work husband? Yes, I do, but it's just certain things you don't do.
Draw the line.
And draw the line in certain issues. You sometimes you might have to come home and say, hey, to the spouse, like, yeah, I was taking out, this or that. Let them know, But we could go on for hours with this one. So we're gonna leave it here and let us know what you guys think. All right. Till next time. Till the next show. See you guys next time.